Okay, here is Sundays. This is day 16. Come back to me, double tap. There we go. Hi, welcome. This is day 16 of the 30-day Periscope challenge. It's insane, we're over halfway now. I'm here to share a couple of tips. My name is Barry Selby. I am the heartbreak repair specialist, primarily working with women, but I do work with men who are committed to the path to heal themselves to attract healthy relationships. My website is barryselby.com, easy to remember, and I'm also the #1 best-selling author of a book, which is 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. Find it on Amazon, just look for the book cover, on Kindle and physical book, but physical book's a little bit thicker. Some good tips. Today's topic, if you're just joining me, by the way, if you haven't been here before, feel free to put your name and where you're from, it's going to be good. And I have a feline comment coming in, so I'll drop it off there. So, today's about who chooses. And this came up in a conversation this morning. This is Stormy, by the way, if you can hear the meowing in the background, that's Stormy, my feline buddy. And he wants to be in the conversation, I guess, because he has input as well. So, who chooses? This morning I was in a conversation with two friends of mine. And the female friend and the male friend, we're all just friends and nobody's in a relationship, was going through this challenge about a guy she was dating that wasn't working out. And something came out in the conversation, which I have talked about before, not here, but in my workshops and in events, is there's a difference between men and women. Well, there's many differences between men and women, but one thing in particular, which we forget, I should say women forget. And to put it simply, it's this. As men, we are the hunters. That's kind of the modality we come from, as the masculine men, we're the hunters. Thank you for the heart, that one solar heart. Feel free to give tons of them, by the way. Us as hunters, that's the thing we go selecting, choosing what we want. And actually, I'm going to stop right there and come back in a minute because I'm just thinking about the hearts. If you are loving what I talk about, or if you have support for it, if you want to love me up with hearts, I welcome that totally. Just so you know, you can give up to 500 in every one scope, which I've discovered is actually kind of a cool thing because I do it for my friends and we start boosting numbers. So thank you for that. I love that. I'll get back on topic. Of course, if you don't like what I'm talking about, don't give hearts. I want to keep you supporting what I'm doing as long as I'm doing the right thing to help you. So, men are the hunters. We choose our target. Now, this sounds pretty callous, but it's the way we are in dating too. We choose women as men by what we feel about them. Now, for some men, it's about how they look. It could be the size of their breasts. It could be the way they walk. It could be anything. For some men, it's also about how they feel. How's their heart? Do they feel present? Do they feel strong? Do they feel in their feminine? So there's lots of different things we use as our radar searching determinants, put it that way. The thing is, women aren't asleep in this arrangement. Far from it. And this is the thing that men forget, and so do women. As I've said it before, and I'll say it succinctly this time, men choose, but women decide. Now, what I mean by that is we, as I said, as the hunters, we go selecting what we want to meet and to be around, who we're attracted to, we want to go ask out and move forward on, which can be easier or harder. I'm not saying it's easy necessarily to go meet somebody cold and ask them out, but that's kind of the modality. The woman, however, gets to decide yes or no, because women have unfortunately have forgotten themselves to a degree. Thankfully, they're remembering that they can choose what they want. So just because a man says, I want to go out with you, doesn't mean she has to say yes. Just because a man wants to take her out for dinner, she doesn't have to say yes. And just because a man wants to take her to bed, she doesn't have to say yes. So I want to say that to the women who are watching this, because a lot of women watch this in the replay. This is why I speak to women and talk to women, because I'm really passionate about women being in their own truth. They're not being swayed by others' opinions, men or women. They choose their own truth. And I believe they have the freedom, the right, and the authority to make their own choices in relationships too. And I've seen more than enough, I won't say too many, but more than enough of my clients and friends go into a relationship because they were convinced by their partner they should be there. Now I'll do a little offshoot on this. One of the things I talked about this morning with a friend of mine, she's going to do a blog post about this, about narcissism. And in this generation of the selfie, this whole thing with cameras and people speaking to themselves, oh shit, I'm doing it myself. It's a means to an end. The selfie generation is added to it, but back before that became the trend in the last couple of years, because it's only been about 3 years of this, narcissism was a label, a psychological label, given to partners, men or women, it's not just a men, but women do it too, where their mode of operation is to court and entertain and excite, and in the sense of men doing it for women, to get them so entranced and hypnotized, because it is that way, that they'll fall into a relationship with the man. And what he does then, this works both ways, so I'm going to get to the women's side in a minute, where he basically will leech off her life energy, her love. His self-esteem is based upon her loving him. So he's going to keep working on getting her to love him, using her up basically, because he's not loving her. It's about him. Now, this works the other way too, so just so before you comments and stuff and feedback, women do this to men too. A friend of mine, a dear good friend of mine, he went through that with a woman who basically suckered him in, and she did. She was gorgeous. I mean, she is gorgeous. Tall, willowy, beautiful woman that was just his type. Within 3 months, he was burnt out because she was sucking the energy out of him. I don't mean physically, I mean energetically. Get your minds out of the gutter. This is the challenge of choosing relationship, is we forget we have that choice, both partners. And part of my work with my clients is helping them recognize their own self-esteem and own value so they won't get suckered in, because most narcissists tend to prey on people who are not feeling fully themselves. If you are really in your own physical body, your own energetic body, and you feel present and you own your truth, if a narcissistic personality type of the opposite sex or opposite polarity comes to you, you won't get suckered in because you don't feel that need. Because what happens is narcissists prey on people who have a sense of something missing, like they're not 100% complete, they're only 75%. And they bring that 25% piece as if it's the gift that you've been looking for. It's a trap. It's like baiting a trap. Exactly. Perfectly said. Thank you. At the same time, they're very subtle. Narcissists are, so I'm just checking out who this is. Thank you, Alison. I'm going to get your name off of your profile. That's the thing. Narcissism is it's an art form, and it's a dark art, to be clear. I've seen many of my clients, and say one of my male friends too has been through that, where their partner was attracted to them, which is that they were attracted to their partner because they're, let's put it this way. You know the way peacocks are in the world? The masculine peacock has the big feathers in the back, the fan. The female peacocks are brown. So the female peacocks are attracted to the male peacocks by the display. Same thing with narcissists. They put on a great display, but there's nothing behind it. So if you fall into a relationship, or you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you know what I'm talking about. It's painful. It's like being used up and tossed out, if you're lucky. Because what happens is, thank you for the hearts, I love that. What happens is, the person who is the victim of this assault, because it is an emotional and energetic assault, is being hurt. And it makes me cringe, but also makes me furious in a way, because I'm so about supporting my clients and having what they want. When they suffer that, I'm not going to go and punch the lights out of the guy, although it may be tempting. But I'm going to really work my gifts, my heart, my service to them, my clients, to really own their own loving, to really feel in their self-esteem, and to feel that they really deserve the best, not the also-ran that the narcissist presented. So, in the beginning I talked about who choos is, but what I'm ending up with, without realizing it, is this whole conversation about narcissism, which is a messy one. And this is a psychological problem, literally. It's in the DSM-4, or 5, whatever they're up to now. I know. Sorry, my friend, if you can hear my friend Stormy down here, he wants to come out and play on the deck, but I can't let him out because I'm going out myself. That's why I'm doing an early scope today. Yes, not my normal 6 p.m. Speaking of which, my daily weekday podcast, my daily weekday Periscope broadcasts, that was right, usually happen around 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to tune in at that time, I might go earlier if there's enough sway that way, but people seem to watch them on the replay, so it's fine too. I am, as of yesterday, I am launching, or should I say I launched yesterday, a new broadcast we're going to do right after this one. So as soon as I log off, I'll be back in 5 minutes to do the second one, called Perry Tips, because I've discovered that apparently I know stuff now. Didn't expect to, but apparently, because I'm in a group, and I'll mention this now, I'm part of a group which is called the 30-Day Periscope Challenge, which is inspiring all the participants, most of whom are doing Periscopes now. I'm doing 1 a day. Sorry, I'm doing 2 a day as of yesterday. Inspiring people to do their own Periscopes, because it's a great way to connect, to share, to teach, and to connect with the world and be visible. As of yesterday, I've started doing these Perry Tips because a lot of people in the group didn't know certain things. And I'm going to do a key one in my Periscope coming up after this. If you want to know the first, I did a Periscope called Perry Tips yesterday that was 4 tips, I said it's going to be 2, but apparently got carried away and gave you 4. That's going to be on my catch.me account, and that was the tip I gave yesterday, by the way, one of them. If you haven't used this yet, please do so if you're using Periscope. Catch, with a K.me, is a free website that captures your Periscopes after you've recorded them, because Periscope drops them after 24 hours. So that's a little tip that was yesterday's being having in now. You can find my Periscopes, and I've got 16 up there now. katch.me/barryselby. Cool? This is stuff for you. This is a bite for you to chew on about narcissism, about choosing and deciding what you want in a relationship. I have a lot more to come, and there's 15 of those 16 are on my actually, I think 10 of them actually are all about relationship stuff on my catch.me account. Go look at them there. Feel free to share this with your friends. Share the replay, tweet about it, pass it around. Definitely give me the hearts. I welcome that too. And go out and do your own Periscopes. Anyway, then I'll talk about the next one I'm doing in about 5 minutes. So thank you for watching this one. Come back in when I do the next one in about 5 minutes, called the Perry Tips, Day 2. And I'll give you some new juicy stuff. That's it. Any questions, by the way, before I sign off? Because sometimes questions come up late. Anybody have anything they want to say or have questions about what I talked about in this scope? And if you missed it, please go back and watch the replay. There's a lot of content. Thank you, Ali. Appreciate you watching. All right, then. Then I'm signing off. Actually, reason being early is I'm going out to the beach to see some friends. It's a holiday weekend after all. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. I will be back on tomorrow afternoon, and I will be back on in about 5 minutes for a Perry tip if that's of interest to you as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.